everyone. From the States, I'm Nick.
And I'm Tim.
And today we're going to talk about the Harley Benton CST 24T, or as most people would talk about, the PRS 24 Custom 24 with Trem copy from their lovely friends at Thomann.de. The reason why I want to do just a quick play demo, honestly, is because the last time Tim and I were doing videos, we played by Michael Kelly Valor. Tim played this to AB it and was like, "Ooh, I really kind of like this." I was like, "All right, let's."
Feels good in your hand. It's a solid piece of wood. But anyway, give her some clean.
Yeah, man. Nice, man. A little quick housekeeping. We're playing through a Peavey ValveKing 220-watt micro head. Going direct in. We've got some pedals that we might push it with a Soul Food or a TC Electronic Mojo. But for the most part, it's just the amp. I give a little bit of reverb from the amp in the middle there. So, cooler lamp. We'll do another video for that in a bit. But she's nice clean, though. She's got a lot of soul to her. You know, in the knock that I always had on PRSs is they don't have a tone. Like, you know what a Strat sounds like. You know what a Telly sounds like. Les Paul. What's a PRS sound like?
The answer is usually Santana.
Yeah, Santana. Yeah, it's usually really good because it's also being played out of somebody who's good, played out of a lot of great stuff. Whether it's a Santana or so many of the players.
He's sort of become the guy that I can name as sort of their unspoken spokesman.
Oh yeah, and you've got that, but all the way down to like Bernie Marsden, who plays a mean guitar. He's got an SE single cutaway one, and they're very pretty. That's very less polished. But I think that the knock is just that they blend so well into so many different styles that I think the knock is the fact it's a Swiss Army knife guitar. You know, like you can use it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, if I overthink the Santana end of it, I just think of like, you know, really long sustained held notes. You can do things like that at high gain. It's a Les Paul-y, but it has its own sort of thing going on. But it's still not quite as, you know, unique as, like you said, a Strat where you just hear a guitar tone and go, "Is that a PRS?" You know, it could be, but.
But they've obviously doing a good job because the fellas at Thomann have decided to copy it.
Absolutely, I'm not knocking the guitar.
And that's the neat thing about it is because of kind of that sentiment, I've come close. I've owned a couple SEs. I've come close to buying an American PRS, but I never could pull the trigger at the $1,600, $1,800, $2,000 because I don't have that. I need to play a PRS for this thing. I know what I need to grab a Les Paul for. I know what I need to grab my Michael Kelly for. I know what I need to grab some of the other stuff, but I don't know what to grab that for yet. So I haven't ponied up the big dough.
I'm not really, just to be honest, I'm not a big PRS man. I mean, I don't know why. I don't dislike them. I don't look at them and say, "Oh, PRS," but they're not really on my radar per se as something that's heavily sought after for me. That's just a personal thing. I think it's more the shape, not so much the sound. Just they're kind of funky looking. And I'm a classic man.
He's a purist.
Yeah,
that's hard.
I have OCD with symmetry and things. But though this in particular does have a lot of nice grooves and curves that are very attractive.
And she's still a man's guitar. She's heavy. Like I think as PRSs go, she's heavier than some of the custom 22s and 24s that I've played, even the real ones. She's got some mass to it. And I think it helps kind of on the more driven tones because you really can kind of hear it, pop out.
Want to try it?
Yeah, I'll give you a little.
This toggle switch is a little bit sensitive.
I will tell you that Harley Benton, if there's one spot that it really shows, these are, instead of like a switchcraft style smooth, it's a box switch, which is like the cheapest switch you can get.
Pops like at the
that one in particular, you can bump it. Nice. And all filthy tones there, courtesy of the TC Electronic Mojo. Wait for it to be on sale because they go for like $50 US, which is a cheap pedal when you can nail it at that price.
I just picked one up. I'm quite fond of it. I haven't had a lot of time to bond, but it does what I need and like.
And if you own a Mojo, you owe it to yourself to buy TC Electronics Dark Matter, which is a distortion pedal, because the two of them together just run at the same time are like evil Marshall from hell. I love it. Without being like full-on metal, like that 70s, early 80s kind of funky Austin Marshall. Anywho, good little play demo though. What do you think? So now you've had a little bit more time to play it. What do you think of the girl?
The toggle switch is a little concerning. It just, like, I barely touched it.
Yeah.
It pops. The neck isn't as wide as I thought. Like, you hold it and it feels real chunky. And it's got this nice binding, but it's somewhat narrow. But again, these aren't.
And some of this is personal preferences, but
yeah,
it's good to know.
It just depends on who's holding it.
I think unlike a Fender or PRS or whatever, like that's the neck you're gonna get.
Yeah.
All necks are equal, you know.
Just like there's not a real wide range from neck to bridge.
No, there isn't. I think I commented in the original video. If you're used to a Les Paul, you can actually just physically look at the Les Paul. This is kind of similar, but the distance between the pickups and a Les Paul is actually pretty good. You can fit a whole other pickup and change in there. If you look at a custom 24 PRS or any of those, the pickups are actually pretty close together, so you don't get that dynamic range of the gap.
When I think bridge pickup, you know, I'm thinking slinky, disco-y, like jangly, high-pitched, clean stuff, or some snappy, twangy leads, and then you know you get up into your neck position and you're doing more rhythmic, chunky chords and stuff like that. And I didn't get as much of that with this as I thought I would, but you know that could just be. That could just be me, kind of.
Yeah, no, it's a style. It's a thing though. Like you know a neck pickup on a Les Paul, you know a bridge pickup on a Les Paul or a Strat or a Telly. Pick your poison. It's different.
Yeah, I just don't know if you know, PRS people who play PRSs are, you know, this is probably not the same thing to them. You know.
No, and you know you can play some tricks with volume. There's just like a Telly. Like I'm sure there are the PRS 1,000 different tricks and coil taps and whatnot. Versus like a real PRS, there's no coil tapping, there's no splitting, that kind of stuff that you get in some of the other ones. But I don't know. Cool. But hey, I think we've rambled quite a bit.
Yeah.
Overall, I still love this guitar. I play this guitar quite a bit. You know, sometimes you got to work the amp a little bit harder to get your dialed into your tone. But she's a fun playing little guitar. Spends a lot of time out for me.
No, it's got a great look. Nice flame top. You can get some good tones out of her. I'm just not a big PRS guy, so I guess
guilty.
I'm being a little vanilla-ish on my review, but I apologize.
Nothing wrong with that. Don't need to agree on everything. That's half the fun. As always, I've been Nick.
And I'm Tim.
And obviously we got issues. Take care, folks.